Hi guys, my name's Seb Tudor, I'm the man on the Silver Mountain and welcome back. Now today I wanted to talk about the the most recent update, which was originally supposed to be the pet system and the new dungeon and new Jebel Sarg religion and stuff like that. But they decided to split it in half, which doesn't make a huge amount of sense to me, and I want to kind of get into this because before I've been quite happy to praise Funcom for the way that they've handled updates, and they've kind of gone, look, it'll be out when it's out. Don't worry about it. And so as a result, where we've had kind of long gaps between updates and between new things being released and all that kind of thing, not been too bothered. I've gone and found other interesting things to do with the old updates, like the fact that Hannah and I have been beating each other up for the last few weeks and all that kind of thing. But now, with this update, I saw oh, there's a new update. I was like, oh great, finally, we know what it's going to be. This is going to be great. And then, I was hoping that maybe this weekend I could go through the dungeon with Hannah, or I could go and find some pets. Unfortunately, Hannah's not feeling very well at the time that we would be recording, in which case I thought, great, I can go find some pets. First off, the baby wolves that are usually here don't actually seem to be here, but I think that's a spawning thing rather than anything else. But to my kind of upset, when I actually came to come and take a look at what was in this update, most of it seemed to be kind of revolving around the thrall hunger system, which is something that I kind of shrugged about. I didn't think that thrall hunger was necessarily that necessary, personally. They're all capable human beings. Just because we've broken their will, they can still feed themselves with what's there. If it was a case of you have food supplies, and they diminish because someone else, your critters decide, your thralls rather decide that they want to go and eat it as well. Fine, but otherwise, I like it didn't seem as necessary to me, considering the thralls in the way that they are. They're either tools or they're there for defenses. Didn't see much point to it, and you can turn it on and off, but as a result though, the majority of this update was basically centered, not around that, around this feeding pot for thralls. And then yes, you've got the new dungeon and stuff, but the new dungeon and the new Jebel Sarg religion are both very much focused around pets, and yet the pet system has stuff like this in the game, which won't let me place it. There we go. The feeding box for animals, but let me just pop open the admin panel. In terms of the here we go, the animal pens, the things that you actually need to tame the animals, we can't get them yet. In terms of, if I can go and find, which I was hoping that there'd be a baby wolf around, but it doesn't seem like there is. So let's head this way to go and find a baby something, because you should just be able to go and abduct animal babies. That's the whole point. You run up to them and you just grab them. But I was trying this a little earlier and it didn't work at all, and that's because the pet system hasn't been added yet. So we've got a new religion revolving around pets. We've got a new dungeon that revolves around that religion, and yet in terms of the babies that we would need to and the other kind of buildings and things that we'd need to take advantage of that system, here we go, baby wolves, you just can't do it. So like, if I just walk up to these guys, I should just be able to pick them up with the pet system, and I can't do a damn thing. Just to point this out. Now, but the reason why I've got a bit of an issue with this is because, they've in the past gone, it'll be out when it's out. You know, don't worry about it. We're going to go fix the thing, do the thing, sort the thing out, and then it will come to you. That's just the way it is. That's why they put out that long list of reprioritizations for release, which meant that things like mounts weren't going to be a thing. And the sorcery system has been replaced by essentially alchemical or mystical arrows, and by the orbs that we can get hold of. And that's it. Yeah? And it, for the most part, does the same job. It's just a easier way for them to do it. Fine, got no issue with it. There's a slight issue in regards to maybe some of the story, because some of the character dialogue doesn't make as much sense. But again, I've also not played through the entire story kind of fetch questy parts and things since full release, because I've still been testing stuff, still been working on stuff, and so on. Now, the other thing that they released was a whole load of fixes with this, which included fixes to the purge, which I'm yet to see if that will actually function, because I saw a lot of comments from people like me who were like, we have been trying to get the purge to trigger. I have had a full purge meter for days and days and days, weeks and weeks, and it just has nothing's turned up to fight me. And that was a bit of a problem for me, because I've got my purge-proof bases that I actually wanted to try against purges to see if it would work, to see if some of the alterations I made after they went, yes, these are going to be smaller and weaker opponents, but not a full army, but a bit of this and a bit of that coming at you. I wanted to see how those changes I made would actually function. So it was interesting, but then I never actually got to test it. So it's been a bit of a pain in the arse in regards to what I've been wanting to do with you guys. But in regards to this update, it just seems like if they're saying, oh, we're going to keep the pet system back for a week or so to iron out some more of the kinks, why not keep the whole update back? I mean, you could upload to the server for that's attached to Steam, that has their games saved on it to copy off to other people, and that does all the updating. You could quite happily put your current build of the game up on there, no problem, and it could update for people, also no problem. But then you just don't have the stuff coming in. The update doesn't go live. If you're worried about just uploading too much too fast. Are there boar babies? I kind of hope there are. When I come to think of it, I'm not seeing any, but I would imagine there would be, right? Little pig babies? Who knows? But yeah, the way that they've done this is just kind of confusing to me, and I've been avoiding the dev streams because I don't want to. The Midnight Grove seems to be the dungeon that I really want to get in and have a good whack at myself, because it seems much more kind of challengey than some of the other stuff. But at the same time, if they've made comments about why they've done this, it just doesn't make a lot of sense to me, and I'm seeing my thoughts echoed in a lot of the other comments on, say, the announcement on Steam or the announcement on Facebook to say that they were releasing it, and it's just very it's a very questionable decision. One of very, in my opinion, not too many questionable decisions that they've actually made in regards to this. And I know that there are lots of people who are critical of the game and Funcom and all the rest of it, but I think Funcom's actually been on a bit of a roll for the last little while with some of the stuff that they've been doing. So, and at some point I'm looking forward to getting my hands on Mutant Year Zero and having a look at that with you guys, maybe, if I can. But yeah, I don't understand how we've got just what, 2/3 of the stuff in the game, but then they've just decided to drop one. Oh, pig baby! There are boar babies. I'm sure I've spotted these before, but at the same time, it didn't twig, and now I want one. But hey ho. But yeah, it's a kind of case of going, we've got this list of things that they've said that they're still doing, and this is one of the big ones, you know, the final religion, another dungeon, all that kind of stuff. And yet, then when it... Whoa, I didn't mean to do that. Then when it comes to it, they've not really given us everything that has been listed in one go. But also they said that they've added werewolves to the game. And I've got to wonder, is this... Are they going to be the northern equivalent of these guys over here? And if they are they going to follow the... One of the things that they said early on in regards to the game, which was we're going to have some enemies that come out at night and you need to have like silvered weapons and whatever else to try and kill them. If so, that's kind of, again, what I would like to see. But whether or not that's actually what comes to pass, I don't know. But also, I don't know, like, I had a look around and I had a poke around to see what was working and what wasn't before I started recording. And again, I ran all over the north and couldn't find them, if werewolves are there. So whether they only show up after you've done the Midnight Grove, or whether they are only coming out at night, because as I usually do when it comes to recording, I've frozen the sky in at noon, just so that we can see what we're doing. So maybe they will be a nighttime enemy, like kind of like the way that the undead pop out the ground near the Sumerian settlement, give or take. You know, it's not perfect. They still just pop in and out of the ground like a yo-yo at times, at least for me. So you know, there's that. But one of the things that I kind of was completely confused by and had not seen before, and I was building some stuff in with Hannah in her game kind of last week, so I would have thought I would have spotted this before. It was this staff thing, Staff of the Triumvirate, where it's a talking stick that you plant in the ground. And it says that it came from a sewer. I don't know if that means it's come from the dregs, because the dregs are a sewer, or what. But, you know, I'm confused about some of the things that they're adding now, either because they're only adding a part of it, not adding the whole thing, or because they're adding stuff that was kind of resolved, at least to an extent. You know, it's just, I can't understand exactly why they're not just holding on to stuff, not just keeping it to themselves until it's done. You know, because what kind of reception are they going to get if they release something that's half done or broken? There are lots of people that left the game, gave up on the game, felt that maybe they had been kind of screwed around because they didn't get everything that was listed before. There wasn't a sorcery system that used corruption. There wasn't a system for mounts and stuff like that. Some of the siege stuff that was a big part of what they were talking about before in regards to things like the purge and so on, have been kind of left to one side for kind of looking into at a later date. And it's like, okay, at full release they gave us the majority of what they said they would give us at full release, you know, if not all of what they said they would give us at full release. But then there's been a lot of other stuff that's been talked about that's then disappeared, been left to one side, all that kind of thing. But what I want to come up here and do is see, because we've got the Child of Jebel Sarg up here somewhere, and they used to say all kinds of things about how they want to go home to the land of the mists, and all that kind of thing. So I want to see if we can find her, just to have a chat just before we finish, just to see if she's got anything else to say for herself. I'm pretty sure she was up here before. Is she up here? I could have sworn she was around kind of the greener edge up here of the sulphurous kind of salt flats, I thought. Unless they've moved her again, because at one point she was over near, she was much closer to the dogs' camp, where her brothers and sisters had driven her out because she's some kind of exile and pissed off the wrong person. But let's see, is she up here? Or did I just walk straight past her? Let's just check all the way up to the top where the big old trees and locusts and things are up here. She might be over here somewhere. Kappas. Oh, apparently I hadn't got this place marked out yet. There we go, we've got that. But no, maybe she's down the other way. Or maybe they've just removed or moved her completely because she's the person that, as far as I'm aware, kicks you off on finding the way into the Midnight Grove and the Jebel Sarg religion and all that kind of stuff. So they could very well have moved her just because she needed to be made more prominent so people could find her more easily. But I don't know. Let's head down this way just in case she was put kind of in. Hello? Something angry over there. Yeah, let's wander down this path, see if she's maybe in the craggy parts between this place and the kind of dog's capital, I guess. Oh, hi.
Slaves, the Warmaker is issuing this decree regarding the battle north of the city. Any rumors of a new weapon unleashed by the humans is completely false. There was a natural phenomenon, a subsidence of the earth, that decimated the army before it came into contact with the enemy. The will of Set prevails, and we shall consult with the Triumvirate before we decide upon our new course of action in this war.
Okay, sure. I thought so was this the humans doing then? Because I thought this was ground zero for the sandstorm, but now they've put in the kind of, what is it, Scourge Temple or whatever. Yeah, okay, I don't know where she's gone, you know, guys. Because she used to be in these parts, I'm sure of it. Unless I'm going nuts. Which I don't think I am. Not today, anyway. Let's head up through here and just see if she's maybe on the outskirts of the dog's territory. But yeah, it's I don't know, this is the first time that I felt kind of just disappointed with the update, just because it seems to have been kind of pulled to pieces for and kind of scattered out for no reason, when surely if the majority of the update has to do with one system, then you know, if they could chop it up like that, then surely they could put in the thrall hunger system without putting the rest of it in. But I don't know. It just seems like they've been a bit hasty with the release of this stuff. I don't know where the Child of Jebelsag is. I'm going to head up into the dog's camp just to see if they've actually put her in there among the others. Oh, what's that? Oh, it's just a bush. Unless they've moved her somewhere completely different. Which, you know, most people I thought knew kind of where she was. So if they've moved her somewhere else completely, that seems a tad strange to me. But yeah, anyway, guys, those are my thoughts on this stuff for this week. So hopefully, kind of next week, I'll either tackle the new dungeon with Hannah, or we'll see what else is going on with the pet system if it actually gets released. Is this you? You're not moving around, and you seem kind of on the small side. Ah, here you are. Okay, I guess this makes a tad more sense, but...
Come to me. You have nothing to fear of me, human. I am simply lonely as I await my return to the Misty Lands. I would like to talk.
I could have sworn that you were female before. Either way, we will learn the Midnight Alchemist thing. Potion of Midnight for 5 feral flesh. Okay.
If I am gone when you return, know that I have returned whence I
Yeah,
came.
you won't be. You're an NPC in a video game. Calm down. You're not going anywhere. Right. What did we learn from that, though? No shrines or anything, so it must literally just be we go get hold of some feral flesh, bring it back, get that potion of midnight, and then go into the Midnight Grove and continue. So, in fact, no, do you know what? I know. If you want to talk... Oh, building's not allowed here. I was going to say, let's just leave this shiny Jafar-esque scepter here that talks, and then you can have a chat with that. Hey-ho. Anyway, guys, you know, as said, a little disappointed with this update so far, just because it seems patchy. It seems like they've not... You know, they could have just held it all back and then put it all in together, was now kind of 2/3 of the stuff that's been added, at least, that we can now access, we can't actually use. You know, there's no payoff to us investing the time and resources in kind of engaging with the new stuff, which I feel is kind of crappy. You know, they could have just given it, you know, held it all back by a week, considering that they haven't given us a date for release anyway. I know, it just seems like a really questionable decision compared to some of the stuff that they've done before. But anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear. And otherwise, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the video next week. Take care. Thank you very much for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this video, found it interesting, then please drop us a like, share this video, and subscribe for more. And I'll see you in the video next week. Take care.